Hello, no one is available to take your call. Please leave a message after the tone.
Ron, hi. My father always told me to dress for the job you want, not the one you have. Which is why once he made his first billion, he became a nudist. But you're not quite there yet, Ron. Not yet. My private freight set off on her maiden voyage yesterday from Emden Port. And on it she carries more than 1,000 luxury cars, Porsches, Ferraris, Lambos, you name it. Ron, what I'm trying to say here is that I've gifted each member of the global team with one of these beauties. So saddle up. It's time to get dressed.
This is your world.
This is your world. This is your world. This is your news. This is your news.
This is your news. This is.
This is. This is.
Global Examiner.
Global Examiner. Global Examiner.
Global Examiner.
Gladys Cooper's sister,
Gladys Price's sister, Gladys Cooper's sister, Gladys Cooper's sister, Gladys Cooper's sister, Gladys Cooper's sister. Guys, we're live. We're live. This is Global Examiner, and this is your world. Today's top stories. A big ship is on fire right now, and you'll never guess where. Hint, the ocean. Olympics cold front, China's Winter Games receive chilly reception. World on the edge, colossal bear breaks into Tahoe Keys home, threatens America. Move over, bears. Cows return good name to animal kingdom and cure mental illness. This is your world, and I'm its host, Ron Ecstasy, joined always by my correspondents Devin Welsh and John Biedron.
Thank you.
Let's get right to the news. All right, guys, welcome to the newsroom. We've got a lot to go over today. Let's start out on the ocean. As I mentioned before, a big ship is on fire right now, and most of you won't guess where, even though I've just said where. The ocean.
Oh,
John, have you been to the ocean recently?
I have not. Once again, there is no legal proof of me being anywhere near the ocean in the last 2 years.
Do you have a pack of matches in your pocket?
I do not, actually, though I did find some under my foot when I was standing near a gutter in a poor area of a city block.
Okay, well, thank you, John.
Someone was trying to give me the old hot foot.
Yes. Now, Devin, you seem to have on you right now a list of every item that was on this ship. Could you tell us what was exactly on this ship?
That's right, Ron. This is a very hot story, and I've got a very imposing list here. Thousands of vehicles, including some made by Porsche, Lamborghini, and Bentley, are trapped on board an abandoned and burning cargo ship that's currently floating in the mid-Atlantic region of the Atlantic Ocean, according to news reports from around the world, and we're contributing to that, of course. The ship is called the Felicity Ace.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's 656 feet long?
Just clarifying. Yeah, you said it was Porsches and Lamborghinis and Bentleys, right?
That's right, Ron. It's funny. I don't know if there's any connection there between what we heard recently from Mr. Turquoise,
Right.
But
Yeah. I was I got a little scared when the story bubbled up.
He didn't mention Bentleys, so
No.
I think it's safe to assume that he probably used a different ship. I imagine he must have.
Yeah.
So
Ron, did you get an email with the tracking number for the Lambos?
I think so.
the ship,
I think I got
the news story here says the ship had been en route to Rhode Island, which is funny because that's what Peter Turquoise had mentioned to us after leaving a German port, which again,
Right.
that's where one of Mr. Turquoise's businesses is located.
Yeah.
But we'll check in on that, and we will bring you the news, whatever it means for us and the cars we were due to receive.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really looking forward to that, actually. That was like the best phone call that we've received
Ever gotten.
from him.
Well, we don't know. I mean, we don't know. This is probably not ours. I mean, I think we would have heard.
Yeah, he probably would have called us by now. So we're fortunate here. Let's just get this out of the way. The 22 crew member, so that means the people who are on the ship, sweeping the poop deck, putting in the fuel, making sure there's enough life vests and lifeboats for people who paid to be on there, perhaps. They were evacuated, and there are no injuries reported, which you always love to hear when there's no injuries on one of these ships that is about to capsize.
Can I be honest? If these were supposed to be our cars, I kind of would trade some injuries.
I know.
Maybe if someone could have gotten to the fire sooner, maybe risk them their own safety a little bit just to make sure. It's a lot of money.
It is. I asked for a specific color, so I'm. So the Portuguese military said in a statement that everybody was fine, and the cause of the fire remains unknown at press time.
And again, that's another short-sighted statement because we don't know if everyone's fine, such as the recipients of those luxury automobiles.
Yeah, some of us. Yeah, they're not taking into account some of the people on the other end. That's a great point, John. Where there are people who have feelings, who are kind of guaranteed something by people who have to live up to that because
they promised
something, and and you're doing a lot of work and a lot of travel and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think we're going to be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, we'll be fine. Well, yeah, whatever. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's move right along. Let's spin our globe and drop that pointer finger you have on China. The massive country of...
I can't find it. Hold on.
What? It's
China?
Next to Japan and Korea. And do you find Russia? Have you found Russia yet?
No.
It's in that area.
These ones. Are they small? Are these one of the small ones?
No, it's pretty big. A lot of people there right now. And then there was a bunch more because the Olympics just happened there. Now, let me fill you in if you're not an Olympic head like me. Some of you may know I was training for these past Olympics, but got some dates mixed up. I thought the COVID thing, they were just going to push it a year. I'm a year behind on my training, but we did go to the Olympics on behalf of Peter Turquoise. A little bit of a snafu, though. We forgot our microphones, weren't able to record while we were there. That's why there's been a bit of a gap in between episodes. But Devin, you were paying attention to the cross-country skiing I saw. Thoughts, feelings? There were some interesting things happening. What did you see? Can you give us a rundown?
That's right. Thank you, Ron. There's a couple of major stories about cross-country skiing. The first of which has to do with real snow falling during these competitions. Of course, for the Beijing Olympics, some fake snow was organized by the Chinese Olympic Committee, and they had all of their T's dotted, all of their I's crossed, and wouldn't you know it, real snow suddenly gave way from the skies and messed up all of their plans.
How about that?
It gave the city the appearance and feel of a real winter games. There was fresh snow in the mountains as well, where all events have been contested on, as I said, artificial snow, fake snow. While the snow was mostly a welcome sight, up in the mountains, it affected visibility. and made it tougher for ski racers to make it down the hill, especially in the first run of the two-leg giant slalom. So
Now, can I butt in here for a second?
Please, John.
I'm just a little confused. Now, when snow falls during the Winter Olympics
Yes.
and we have people on skis, I would have to assume that this is the exact kind of event that they'd been training for.
you'd think so, John. You'd think
Yeah.
that they would have been training for real snow, but in fact, they've moved off of real snow. They've moved on to artificial snow, and it's a very different sport, really, with the artificial snow. It's a different type. Athletes require different types of bodies, different workout regimes, different nutritional regimens,
Right.
and the real snow can really just get in the way.
Now, John, I was doing some clicking around Wikipedia, and there was a link that I clicked that seemed to indicate your family is deeply involved in the creation, invention, and distribution of artificial snow.
Now, that is a common misconception. My family did...
John, what am I being misconceived about here?
Now, hold on. My family did have ties to the original artificial snow cartel in northern Michigan some, however many decades ago. But we cut ties just after artificial snow came out onto the marketplace. I have not received any of the legacy funds from artificial snow, and I'm in no way implicated in the ethical obligations that follow reporting on an artificial snow story.
So you are denying that your family has anything to do with the dealing and distribution of, quote, fake snow, unquote.
As far as my family in such matters as being dealers of artificial snow, fake snow, as it were, I have no recollection.
Well, John, I suggest you talk to the webmaster of Wikipedia and get that fixed, because you will not believe what people are saying about this and the artificial snow trade.
I will absolutely be contacting the webmaster. And Ron, I have to say, as a fellow journalist, as one of your peers, I'm a little disappointed that you are going ahead and believing any truth that you see printed up on the Wikipedia Times.
Well, John, we have to be very careful about these things here because we are professional journalists, as you know, as you are as well. I will give you credit for that, but we have to exercise due caution and expose and be very clear about all conflicting interests because Global Examiner is a highly regarded news program, and we can't have conflicts of interest hidden under the sheets, if you will.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm aware of the fact that the Global Examiner is a Peabody-nominated aspiring podcast.
Yes.
We have aspirations to become nominated for journalistic integrity.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, we are so we aspire to.
Yes.
So I take this stuff very seriously, and I just have to say at this time, I just have to hold the line here. I don't recollect.
Okay.
So
Good.
that is my official statement, as it were, in regards to the distribution of
Oh,
quote unquote fake snow.
Okay.
That's very
well,
good. That's very good. That's very professional, John.
Thank you.
I'm going to turn from that story to a related story that I also spent time covering in Beijing,
Okay.
which is
Please.
which I put under the heading of crotch watch, which is that an Olympic skier, faced an unbearable, to quote him, frozen penis during a 50-kilometer skiing race, and he ended up finishing 28th.
Not good. That is not good.
I hate to sling mud here, but
Okay.
Devin, I am also on Wikipedia. And I am clicking around here, and I just wanted to ask you, because it seems that your family actually has ties to the winter penis snood industry. Snood, for our listeners, obviously is a garment that you wear in cold weather to keep your head warm.
Wow.
And it says here that the Welsh family has a patent on the penis snood.
I will come clean here. I will explain that yes, my family has been in the penis snood business for many generations, actually. This is maybe a slight conflict of interest for me to be reporting this story, but I have to just be real and say that, part of the reason why this story was so fascinating to me is because for generations, my family has been trying to solve the question of the frozen penis. And I think I would say with pride that we have solved it. And
that's
this,
amazing.
This skier could have reached out to us, could have done some research beforehand. You notice that this story only talks about a single skier who dealt with a frozen penis, not every skier in the competition. And I think you'll be pleasantly surprised to discover that many of the skiers employ the Welsh family brand penis snood.
Well, that's actually great news then. That is pretty.
That's admirable, actually. I'm sorry to have posed that in such a hostile way.
Wow. Okay, so just for full disclosure, Devin, are you wearing a penis snood right now?
The only time you'll catch me without one is when I'm in the shower, Ron.
Look at that. How about that? I've always wondered what that was. Not that I was looking. I wasn't, I swear. This snood it fits snugly around the top part of a penis while the skier is dashing down the snow, whether artificial or real. That has no effect on the snood. Now, this frozen penis, the skier, Remy Lindholm from Finland, said that he spent just an hour and 16 minutes traversing the course in howling, freezing winds, which is the leading factor of frozen penis. And he said that he used a heat pack to try to thaw out his penis once the race was over, and when his penis started to warm up after the finish, he said the pain was unbearable.
And I'd just like to point out he was on the course for only a little over an hour, and the Welsh snoods have an 8-hour guarantee of penile warmth. So we would like to extend the offer of conversation, of dialogue with Mr. Lindholm about a potential collaboration, a partnership, if you will.
The lines are open. The lines are open between Remy Lindholm, a Finnish athlete at the Winter Olympics. Not very good, finished 28th. But he needs to get in contact to, if he wants to use his penis any further in any further Olympic events. He's one of the guys who probably didn't have to use any of those condoms at the Olympics, so I'll say that. Even though he probably should have.
Now, Devin, is it safe to assume that the other 40, 50 or so competitors in the cross-country skiing race spent the meat of the race, as it were, wearing the Welsh snood? Is that something that we can confirm or deny?
I can't speak to all of our partnerships, to all of the relationships that we have with Olympic athletes. That is confidential, but I will say that the story does speak for itself. The fact that only a single skier was implicated in this penile problem kind of gives you a hint as to how pervasive our penis snoods are in this Olympics.
Yes. Okay, and
we wish Remy Lindholm a speedy recovery, and
of course,
in the worst case scenario, if he does have to have his frozen penis removed from frostbite, maybe it'll make him faster.
That's true. Look at Lance Armstrong. Happened to him. Started winning a lot of races after losing a testicle to cancer. Unfortunately, it's a sad state of affairs for him, but. This Lindholm fellow, I saw you, Devin. Again, we forgot our microphones at the Olympics, so we couldn't interview him. But I saw you speaking with him, and I understand that there's confidentiality there. But I did notice he did pull his little bib down to show you. Could you give us a first-hand account of what it looked like?
He did show me. He did indicate what had happened to him, and it was, something that we don't like to see in the family business. Something that we've actually gone out of our way to avoid seeing for many generations. And I did speak with Mr. Lindholm. Yes, that I can come clean about that on the air, and we will be in dialogue very soon.
Could you confirm the size of Mr. Lindholm's penis
Yes.
Please.
for journalistic reasons?
Just please.
It was due to the cold. It was on the smaller side. I will say.
okay.
28th
Smaller
place.
side and 28th place.
Yeah. What medal do they give out for 28th place? I forget. Oh, that's right. Sorry. He's doesn't get a medal for that. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Devin, for that in-depth reporting. You are ahead of the game. You really, put it all in there and really warmed up that situation.
You really took a hold of that situation.
Yeah.
So is that the breadth of our Olympic coverage this week? It's just cross-country skiing? That's the only event, right? They only have
That
ski
was the
races in the Winter Olympics.
That was
Yeah, it
the
was the
main
only thing-
event.
That was yeah. So the only thing we had tickets to, really.
Do they have like ice blowing or like, snowball throwing or I don't know.
I know you should ask. You should ask Devin.
I was hoping to learn a
and
lot
Remy
this,
about that ice
this
blowing.
time when we went, but yeah.
All right. Well,
It's been a long
let's
time inside.
let's move along, but keep it along the ski trip theme, and take ourselves over to Lake Tahoe. I've got a headline over here. This is a section we like to call World on Edge. There's a colossal bear in the Lake Tahoe area named Hank the Tank. He's a 500-pound bear that pounces on properties with a craving for all things food, and most likely children as well. Wildlife officials are saying they want him dead, him being the bear, not the children. He is well known and wanted by the California Department of Fish and Wildlife. Again, well known. Everybody seems to know about Hank the Tank. Again, 500 plus pounds. That's about 3 or 4 dads. Now, the spokesperson, not for the bear, but for the Department of Fish and Wildlife, there are no responses from the bear spokespeople, has said that he has damaged 38 homes and is responsible for over 150 phone calls.
Terrible. Ron,
Yeah.
is our democracy under attack?
Yes. This kind
Does
of
Hank
stuff.
the Tank hunger for American-bred democracy?
Yes, he does. Thank you, John. The little bit of my own op-ed here, but this needs to be stopped. I'm getting some intelligence about this bear and his motives. I can't necessarily tell you exactly what is in that. It's confidential. But it's not looking good. This bear will damage your house. He ripped a doorbell off one of those Nest doorbells. He ripped it off the wall.
Horrifying.
So
Ron,
that's yeah.
a question
please.
coming to my mind is there a political motive behind these acts of terrorism? Is there a broader political agenda? Is this a kind of an insurgency, an attempt to take down the infrastructure and the sort of social community of American life?
Yes. Thank you for that question as well, and I'll give you straight answers here. Yes, the answer is yes. Essentially, this bear is trying to sow discontent in America. It's trying to create confusion. It's trying to create disinformation. It's trying to really push our democratic buttons. See, the thing is, we, American citizens, know how to deal with the right thing. We know how to do the right thing. This bear is probably drunk on vodka and just tearing apart, as I said, doorbells. And we all know what that can lead to. We've seen events happen around the world. We know what happens after that happens. A lot happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Now, this Cold War, since it is winter,
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
the Fish and Wildlife Department are waging against this brutish, big-boned bear, this clumsy, oafish, destructive force.
yes, Hank the Tank.
Is
yes.
it winnable?
Yes, I will give you a straight answer. Yes is the answer for
This
that.
Cold War against this insurgent bear uprising is winnable.
It is winnable. The way you do that is through coalition making. Organizations like NATO, they were created for stuff like this. We make promises to other countries. If we're attacked, NATO will come in and help us.
Yeah.
This is an instance where NATO should be on the hunt for Hank the Tank. He's a 500-pound bear. How many times do I have to say this? He ripped off a doorbell.
Ron, I'm hearing from a lot of people on the ground here that they're concerned that NATO, that U.S. Fish and Wildlife, they're worried that they could possibly spend too much money to take this bear down. Now, I know a lot of our listeners turn in for the analysis on this podcast.
Yes.
On these kinds of stories. Is there too much to spend to stop this menace?
Listen, I'm going to give you a straight answer here. The answer is no. There's never not enough money. We always have money.
Yeah.
To kill our enemies. And again, Hank the Tank is a 500-pound bear. He's ripped off a doorbell, John.
And again,
there is money in the bank to fight this. This is the stuff we do.
I just want to say this isn't a question, of expenditure of money, because in the defense of democracy, in the defense of, our American communities, there is
doing the right thing.
There is no dollar sign.
Nope.
There's no price tag.
There's no price tag for doing the right thing, John. Like you're listening to these people chatter in downtown Tahoe saying, "How are we going to pay for this?" John, it's covered.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Honestly, the more we spend, the more secure I feel knowing that this Earth-seen menace is out there destroying the very foundations of our democratic homes and our doorbell wiring.
Yes, and again, I mentioned it was a Nest doorbell, very expensive, over $125.
Now, is the instance of this destruction of a Nest doorbell, would we categorize that as hacking?
No, this is terrorism because
cyber
terrorism, I think, is the appropriate, because
we're talking how it begins.
We're talking about the security infrastructure of these California communities. We're talking about the surveillance apparatuses that are necessary for security, for good living, really. And an attack on those systems is an attack on us.
So it's a short walk from cyber terrorism to full blown nuclear war. Right?
Yes, John. And I'm ready. So, one of the aspects of this that we haven't really thought about is just the energy aspect. Why is he doing this? There are energy concerns. We have pipelines trying to be built in and around that area. How do you think Lake Tahoe's going to turn the lights on? How do you think that's going to happen when we got a bear walking around taking off your doorbell? So these are some of the concerns, and I'm listen. I might be getting a little worked up about this Cold War stuff, but I really appreciate you giving me the space to talk about this in an open, transparent dialogue that we've created.
Way. Absolutely.
Very ethical,
super ethical.
All I can say is Hank the Tank is trying to sow discord in the United States, and he needs to be killed.
I agree. I completely agree
as well. I agree completely.
I think a bear like this doesn't respond to reason, doesn't respond to dialogue. Whereas
it's too drunk.
It's too drunk. It's too much of a menace. It's 500 pounds. You can't talk it down from the edge.
No.
You have to use the only language that this bear understands, which is brutal violence.
Blow him back to God.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Let him sort it out.
Bye-bye.
Now, Ron, I also hear that there are instances where Hank the Tank has been shitting in the woods.
Yes. I looked into that, and that is a kind of a scientific discovery, really, that's come out of this terrible situation. We've seen in the past that escalating wars can lead to scientific and technological advancements, and in this case, it's no exception. We have been able to confirm that bears such as Hank the Tank do defecate in the woods And not only do they shit in the woods, but that those piles of bear feces are what you could call, a potential explosive situation. Like
Yes.
they are.
Yes.
I think of them like landmines in the
Landmines,
woods.
yep.
Yeah.
I was just
Absolutely.
about to say that. God bless. Rest in peace, Princess Diana, as well. Should just mention that. With regards to landmines, because I not sure exactly how she died, but I think it was something involved with that. But
I think she was driving and a bear popped out, if I'm not mistaken, and made her swerve off road into an abandoned British landmine field.
Oh, yeah, man. Okay. Do you want? I think I'm actually thinking of somebody different. Oh, Tiger Woods? No, I don't know. I forget. Whatever. Okay. Let's move on and say move over, bears. Cows return good name to animal kingdom, and while they're at it, they're curing mental illness.
Oh, this is a feel-good story if I've ever heard one.
Yeah, it sure is, John. So let's talk about Mountain Horse Farm. It's a bed and breakfast in upstate New York, and maybe the only place in the nation to bear hug a bovine.
Oh. Bear hug.
Now-
Now, that immediately makes me scared again. It makes me think of the Cold War and the escalating tensions between ourselves and the Ursine menace.
Yes. Well, let's.
Now, you're telling me that this is the
Something a
introduction
little-
of bovines is here to sort of purify this disgusting, naked, aggressive language.
Yes. So a bovine, John, is a cow. Maybe that's where it's short for Beauregard vine, Beauregard vineyard. I think Beauregard vineyard bovine is a cow. It's a scientific name that I learned from Devin, who is our scientific animal expert.
That's right.
And he just slipped me a note that said bovine is the science name. It says here bovine is the science name for cow. So thank you, Devin, for that insight. So yeah, this Mountain Horse Farm, you can go there and start hugging cows.
Yeah. Now, some listeners may be confused, thinking how many cows there are around the nation and what little is stopping them from going up and hugging them wherever they may be. Folks, you're going to need supervision if you're hugging a cow. Now, it seems like it would be easy to do, but it's actually quite complicated.
Yeah.
What with the udders, the horns, their massive necks, you're going to want to have a professional, an expert in the room with you. And that's what Mountain Horse Farm provides. A place
That's right.
to stay, a nice meal, and some adult supervision for some good, clean fun.
Let me just mention that meal will be breakfast because it is a bed and breakfast. There's no dinner or lunch served. And please, I've been told to please stop calling and asking what time dinner is served. It's a bed and breakfast. So listen, this is coming from the owner, the unnamed owner. Cows.
Please respect their privacy.
Please, yeah, we will. So the unknown owner says, cows lie down much more than horses, she said. They get very quiet and soft. Just sitting with them makes people go quiet too. So it makes people go quiet.
Interesting.
Which is, I just thought they gave us milk and ribeyes.
But they can do so
so-
much more, Ron. So much more than milk and steaks.
Yeah, and okay, so there was another little thing that the owner, unnamed, privacy respected owner, said that, hey, this is an inn, not a petting zoo. So don't get any ideas about just petting the cow, bovine, because it's not a petting zoo. You have to pay to sleep in somebody's house, and then they'll feed you breakfast in the morning. They may or may not sleep there as well. It's
And it's not a petting zoo in the sense that, you want to, these cows are independent bovines. They're not there for your entertainment. They're living their lives, and those are special lives that we can participate in if they invite us in, but we are not entitled.
Should the bovines feel benevolent, they will allow you to hug them.
Yes. But it's not a pet. Don't think of it as like, hello, I'm here to pet them. Come here. Hey, cow. And then taking a carrot out of your pocket and shoving it into the big, massive cow mouth with a big, dry tongue that you can order at the butcher shop later. And by the way, have you ever tried, John, have you ever tried cow tongue?
Yes, I have. It's my favorite meal. It's the only food that tastes you back.
Mm-hmm. Damn it, I was going to say that. That was the only reason I...
But the upshot of this article, the good news that'll put a smile on your face is that, the unnamed owner says people can't stop smiling. When people connect with the cows, nothing else exists. They forget their cell phones, forget themselves and the problems they have. It's a really unique moment. And so at Global Examiner, I think, we encourage all of our listeners to go out and interact in a supervised manner with a bovine, with a cow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Forget your problems.
Now, Devin, I understand that we're also receiving reports that some people are actually moving to upstate New York and starting a small community where they have eschewed personal possessions, material things, and actually creating a semi-religious community around the cow that they've been hugging. So that way they can stay near it and receive more of its wisdom. Mm-hmm. Now, some in the U.S. Agricultural Department are saying that this is a cult, a cattle cult, if you will.
Okay.
Are we concerned at all that the claims of this bovine specimen to cure mental illness are just another way to get people to move and change their lives for the personal enrichment of this bed and breakfast owner?
I would step in here and point to the U.S. Constitution and our freedom of religion, freedom to practice and express our religious convictions however we want to relate to God or to a bovine god. And I think the Department of Agriculture has no business within the prayers and the thoughts of American citizens. And so I support the cattle cult, and I think I will be checking it out myself in the coming weeks.
Yeah, John, do you have an address for that place? It sounds great, to be honest.
I just to say I'm also interested in joining the cattle cult. This is not, I'm not trying to be closed-minded here.
No.
There is something very appealing to the idea of permanent happiness.
Yeah, and it seems as though hugging a cow is a gateway to that permanent happiness you speak of.
Yeah.
Now, I've been eating these cows for years, not the specific ones that you pet. It's not pet, sorry. The ones that you hug.
Right.
Or they hug you, I'm unsure. I've only engaged with these cows in that way. And personally, I'm looking forward to kind of befriending a few more of these cows. Unsure of how many cows are on this bed and breakfast farm. But listen, tell me how I can get my court-ordered psychiatrist to write me a prescription for this, right? Am I right, you guys?
Nice,
yeah,
yes.
I feel exactly the same way. I mean, I wish that they would give me something other than what they're giving me now.
Yeah. I really do wish the court had a little less control over our mental well-being.
Yeah, I know. And the ex-wife gets 50% too. I can't believe...
I wish I could give that 50% to the cattle cult. I mean,
they would know what to do with it.
Yeah, be put to good use.
Yeah. Think about how much butter that could provide needy communities.
Yeah, John, I seriously, I need that address though. If you have it later, this is a people cannot stop smiling. As John or Devin said, they forget their cell phones. They still have them, mind you. They just forget about them.
They leave them there, actually.
They're also that's what happens when I put mine in my pocket too. But I don't need a cow around for that. This is just spectacular news. I think I am heavily medicated, and for many reasons. Again, court-ordered, I mentioned earlier, psychiatrist, which is a bit more of an intense thing than just a psychologist. They have the power of the sword pen, can write prescriptions for you. And again, if my court-ordered psychiatrist is listening, and I know he is because
he feels all of these recordings.
This is posted on the internet, and it's part of the whole legal proceeding that I really want a prescription to this place, and I'm making an announcement. I'm now going off all my meds cold turkey because the cows are
telling me to.
They will cure my state of my mind.
Absolutely.
Okay, Ron, we're going to have to cut you off there. I don't think we need you to go ahead and make a statement that bold on the podcast. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to let you figure that one out on your own. And I believe we're going to move on now.
Okay.
Now that you're good and ramped up here for next week's news.
Yeah, let's go to next week's news. Dev, what's in the news next week?
Yeah,
what's in the news?
I would make a bold prediction that I'm looking for more stories about the colossal bear, and potentially because the bear has been tracked going eastward. Okay. And I think that maybe we see an interaction between this colossal bear and the cattle cult. I'm not sure which side will win, but I'm praying that good prevails over evil and that the cattle cult vanquishes the bear for all time.
Wow. Okay.
Excellent.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
prediction.
That.
That's a great story. I'm so excited that's going to happen next week.
John, what do you got on the docket?
I am going to go ahead and predict that we will be driving bitching Ferraris.
Yeah, buddy.
Taking hairpin curves around Lake Tahoe to fight the bear.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Too fast, too furious? I don't think so.
I'm into that. Listen, I've got a prediction here. We're going to see some extremely important health news with a visit from Dr. John next week. I have a feeling Dr. John's going to be visiting and giving us some updates about the global health inventions, things that are changing the world and making us, see through walls and stuff like that. And
the exciting thing about the Dr. John segment that we're predicting that will happen next week.
Okay.
We don't know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know what he's going to tell us, but we do know that it will be earth-shattering.
Yes. This is important global news. Listen, everybody, you've been listening to Global Examiner. This is your world. We've just described to you 4, maybe 5 news articles that take place all over the world. We hope you've learned something new. We hope you learned where China is. We hope you now know what the scientific name for cows are. We now hope that you want to kill bears ruthlessly. And I'm sure there were more stories, but I can't remember them now. So why don't you tune in next week, or whenever the next one comes out, of Global Examiner. This is your world. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Express notification.
这是 DHL 国际快递最后语音通知，您有一份重要快件派送均无人签收，了解详情请按9，请按9，由人工客服为您服务。